Chahu dance. Chahu is a major dance tradition of eastern India. It is prevalent in the tribal belt of bordering areas of the province of Orissa, Jharkhand, and Bengal in eastern India. There are three distinct forms of Chahu: Saraikela Chahu of Jharkhand, Mayurbhanj Chahu of Orissa, Purulia Chahu of West Bengal. Santali language. Santali is most widely spoken language of the Munda subfamily of the Austroasiatic languages related to Ho and Mundari, spoken mainly in the Indian states of Assam, Bihar, Jharkhand, Mizoram, Odisha, Tripura and West Bengal. It is a recognized regional language of India as per the 8th schedule of the Indian Constitution. Santali language. It is spoken by around 7.6 million people in India, Bangladesh, Bhutan and Nepal, making it the third most spoken Austroasiatic language after Vietnamese and Khmer, Khmer. Santali was a mainly oral language until the development of Old Chiki by Pandit Raghunath Murmu in 1925. Chiki is alphabetic sharing of the syllabic properties of the other Indic scripts and is now widely used to write Santali in India. The 92nd Amendment Act of the Constitution of India amended the 8th schedule to the Constitution so as to include Bodo, Dogri, Maithili and Santali languages. O1 Chiki is used for writing Santali, which belongs to the Munda group languages of the Austroasiatic family. Santali language is spoken by around 7 million people in India, 7.6 million people in India, Bangladesh, Bhutan and Nepal, making it the third most spoken Austroasiatic language after Vietnamese and Khmer. Spy system of Mauryan Empire. The system of the spy system was an integral part of the administration of Mughal Empire. The goals of the secret service were to test the integrity of government officials, spy on cartels and population for conspiracy, to monitor hostile kingdoms, to destabilize enemy states, to get rid of troublesome powerful people who could not be challenged openly. Chanakya's Arthashastra is considered one of the finest political and war discourses ever written in prose form. Dating back to the 4th century, the Arthashastra is a huge work and has 15 parts, each dealing with some aspects of the art of government. One of the most notorious features of the Arthashastra is its obsession with spying on the king's subjects. To keep a complete visual over the entire administration in India, including the conduct of officers, a well-knit espionage system was evolved. A remarkable feature of the Mauryan administration was the uninhibited manner in which the organization of a secret service was recommended under the use of secret agents for a variety of purposes. A large number of detectives, Gudha Purushas, secret agents, double agents, news agents, spies, counter spies, etc. were posted all over the kingdom. Chanakya has given an elaborative description. Child marriages in India. It is important to note that important note about the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2006. That under this, child marriages are not void. That which has no legal standing, but voidable something legal which can be an annual letter by one party of a contract. Thus, under Prohibition of Child Marriages Act 2006, marriages itself with a minor is not void. Instead, they are only voidable at the opinion of any contracting party who was a child at the time of the marriage. This at present can be done within 2 years of that person attaining majority. Since the marriage age for a girl under the current law is 18, she can move the court to annul the marriage by age 21. For a boy for whom the legal marriage is 23 years is the outer limit to seek annulment. The act makes contracting a marriage by a man who is over 18 years of age with a woman under 18 years a cognizable and non-bailable offence punishable with imprisonment of 2 years and a fine of Rs 1 lakh rupees, but recognizes the union as valid. Laws for OTT platforms. There are no specific laws or content allowed on prohibited in print and electronic media, radio, films or OTT platforms. The content on any of these platforms has to follow the free speech rules of the country under Article 19 of the Constitution. Article 19 also lists content reasonable restrictions including content relating to the security of the state, friendly relationship with foreign states, public order, decency and morality, etc. So content is also subject to these reasonable restrictions. The power to regulate content rests only with the INB Ministry, Information Broadcasting Ministry. However, the INB Ministry does not rely on other ministries for inputs. Money multiplier. Money multiplier can be expressed as the ratio of the money supplied to the monetary base, money in bank vaults and money in circulation. Hence, money multiplier is directly proportional to change in money supply. Money multiplier calculates how much money banks generate from deposits after deducting the amount designated for reserves. It indicates how frequently the amount will be increased in relation to the special change in deposits. The legal service ratio as the money multiplier the are inversely related. LR, the legal service legal reserve ratio is the quantity of deposits that banks are required to keep with them to as reserves all the time to meet the uncertainties and also maintains the trust of the public. The banks are required to have two different types of reserves. Cash reserve ratio CRR, the reserves which the banks have to maintain with the central bank. It is fixed by the central bank and hence would not change with money supply. Cash reserve ratio and statutory liquid ratio, which shows the number of reserves that the banks are required to maintain the form of liquid assets with themselves. The statutory requirement of the reserves ratio acts as a limit in the amount of credit that banks can create. Thus, a rise in CRR will reduce the monetary multiplier. In a simple model, money multiplier is given by reciprocal of CRR. Thus, doubling of CRR will halve the money multiplier. Money supply does not affect the value of multiplier. Braille maps. Visually challenged students from all over the country will have the access soon to Braille maps designed and developed using digital embossing technology, enabling them for ease of use, for user friendly, better feeling and durable in terms of quality. The digital embossing technology is a technology which eliminates the need for printing plates, molds, chemicals and solvents, emitting no pollutants or waste and reduces overall energy usage. This innovative technology has been introduced, designed and implemented first time in India by National Atlas and Thematic Mapping Organization NATMO, the functioning as the attached office of the Department of Science and Technology. The maps produced using this technology is not only useful for high speed production of the maps but can also produce Braille maps that can be used by people for years together. It has been experienced that the maps produced with the earlier technology has lost its readability and feeling experience within a short span of time. Bomb cyclone. It is a massive winter storm hammering the coast, bringing strong winds, flooding, ice and the show. It is a combination of rapidly declining pressure and extreme cold. This particular storm is the most explosive ever observed on the east coast. It is called a bomb cyclone, a dramatic name for what names when the storm explosively strengthens while the pressure plummets. The occurrence also known as explosive cyclogenesis essentially amounts to a rapidly developing storm system distinct from a tropical hurricane. because it covers over mid altitudes where fronts of warm and cold air meet and collide, rather than relying on the balmy ocean waters of late summer as catalyst. Huntington's disease. Huntington's disease is an inherited disorder that can cause nerve cells in parts of the brain to gradually break down and die. The disease attacks areas of the brain that help to control voluntary intentional movement as well as other areas. People living with HD development controllable dance like movements, chorea, and abnormal body postures, dystonia, as well as problems with behavior, emotion, thinking, and personality. HD is an inherited disorder. It is passed from parent to child through a mutation in a particular gene. When a parent has HD, each child has 50% chance of inheriting the copy of chromosome 4 that carries the HD mutation. If a child does not inherit the HD mutation, he or she will not develop the disease and cannot pass it on future generations. When HD occurs without a family history, it is called a sporadic history. HD is caused by mutation in the gene for protein called Huntington's disease. Okay. Modi script. The Modi script was used from the 17th century until the 1950s was for writing Marathi, the state language of the Indian state of Maharashtra. The script developed from a cursive form of Devanagari, so shares a number of features and is visually similar to that script. The Marathas employed it in the documents of revenue and administrative records. Artificial neural networks. In recent years, the artificial neural networks are showing potential to handle more complex and non-linear problems. ANNs are computing systems vaguely inspired by the biological neural networks that constitute animal brains. Such systems learn to perform tasks by considering examples generally without being programmed with task specific rules. For example, in image recognition, they might learn to identify images that contain cats by analyzing example images that have been manually labeled as cat or no cat and using the results to identify cats in other images. On January 2022, Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority (IEPA) signed MOU with Indira Gandhi National Open University (IGNOU) for promoting investor education and financial literacy among youth through Gyan Darshan channel. The authority is entrusted with the responsibility of administration of the Investor Education Protection Fund, make refunds of shares, unclaimed dividends, mature deposits or debentures, etc. to investors and to promote awareness among investors. The IEPF is used to be utilized for the refund in respect of unclaimed dividends, mature deposit, matured debentures, the applications money due for refund and interest thereon, reimbursement of legal expenses incurred in pursuing class action suits, promotion of investors education, awareness and protection. Delhi Declaration. Security Council Counter-Terrorism Committee (CTC) unanimously adopted the Delhi Declaration on countering the use of new and emerging technologies for terrorist purposes. Among the listed items in the declaration include the decision to continue to work on recommendation on the 3 themes of the special meeting and the intention to develop a set of non-binding guiding principles to assist member states to counter the threat posed by the use of new and emerging technologies for terrorist purposes. The declaration aims to cover the main concerns surrounding the abuse of drones, social media platforms and crowdfunding, and create guidelines that will be tackle the growing issue. Members of the committee will draft recommendations to counter the terrorist exploitation of information and communication technologies such as payment technologies and fundraising methods and misuse of unmanned aerial systems UAS and or drones. The declaration also decided on a new sets of non-binding guiding principles to assist member states in countering the digital terrorism threat will be issued with a compilation of good practices on the opportunities offered by the same set of technologies to tackle threats. Security Council Counter-Terrorism Committee CTC unanimously adopted the Delhi Declaration on countering the use of new and emerging technologies for terrorist purposes. Among the listed items in the declaration include the decision to continue to work on recommendations on 3 themes of the special meeting and the intention to develop a set of non-binding guiding principles to assist member states to counter threat posed by the uses of new and emerging technologies for terrorist purposes. Apart from the main memorial, there is dedicated area for busts of soldiers, BUSTS busts of soldiers who have been conferred with Paramveer Chakra, the nation's highest gallantry award. The iconic India Gate in Lutyens, Delhi was constructed in 1931. The iconic India Gate in Lutyens, Delhi was constructed in 1931 by erstwhile British Empire to commemorate the battle casualty fatal of India during World War I as well as Third Anglo-Afghan War. Amar Jawan Jyoti was installed overnight under the Arch of India Gate in January 1972 to commemorate India's victory in India Pakistan War 1971 as a national tribute to our brave soldiers who laid down their lives. The McCartney-McDonald line is a proposed boundary in the disputed area of Aksa Chin. It was proposed by British Indian government to China in 1899 via its envoy to China, Sir Claude MacDonald. The boundary dispute in the western sector pertains to Johnson Line proposed by the British in 1860s that expand up to the Kunlun Mountains and put Aksai Chin in the Indian princely state of Jammu and Kashmir. Independent India used the Johnson Line and claimed Aksai Chin as its own. CAD and BOT, current account deficit and balance of trade, are both concepts used to measure a country's trade performance, but they have slightly different meanings and implications. The balance of trade is a measure of a country's total exports and exports of goods and goods and services minus its total imports of goods and services over a given period, usually a year. It is sometimes referred to as the trade balance. A positive balance of trade means that the country exports more than it imports, while a negative balance of trade means that a country imports more than it exports. The current account is a broader measure that includes not only the balance of trade in goods and services, but also other transactions such as income received from investments abroad, transfers of money between countries, and unilateral transfers such as aid and remittances. For instance, if an Indian receives rental income from his property in UK, it will be measured in current account but not in balance of trade. The capital account, on the other hand, records all international transactions related to all the purchases and sales of assets. It includes transactions such as the purchase of foreign assets by domestic investors and the purchase of domestic assets by foreign investors. The capital account balance reflects the difference between the total inflow and outflow of capital in India. Marine heat waves. The ocean's average temperature has increased 1.5 degrees centigrade in the last century, and for the past 10 years, average annual ocean temperatures have been the highest ever recorded. In addition to this long-term persistent warming, discrete periods of extreme regional ocean warming called marine heat waves are becoming more frequent. High water temperatures associated with MHWs can cause extreme weather events such as tropical storms and hurricanes and disrupt the water cycle and making floods, droughts and wildfires on land more likely. solid state battery versus lithium ion battery. Lithium ion electrolytes are liquid and exist in the form of gels and polymers. The electrolyte is also flammable, unstable at high temperatures, and has the problem of thermal runaway. The electrolyte is also easy to freeze at low temperatures, reducing the battery's endurance. The charging speed of solid state batteries is faster that of lithium ion batteries. There is no corrosive problem and the life is longer. Okay. Regarding the operating temperature, solid state batteries are thermally stable and will not freeze at low temperatures for users living in mid to high altitudes. This can mid to high latitudes. This can ensure the endurance of electric vehicles. It does not have a risk of explosion or fire. There is no need to have components for safety, thus saving more space. Committee on Public Accounts. Committee on Public Accounts. The committee consists of 15 members elected by Lok Sabha. 7 members of the Rajya Sabha are also associated with it. A minister is not eligible for election to this committee, and if any member become a minister, he or she ceases to be a minister of the community. The term of the committee is 1 year. The main duty of the committee is to ascertain whether the money granted by Parliament has been spent by government within the scope of the demand. The appropriation accounts of the Government of India and the audit reports presented by the Comptroller and Auditor General mainly from the basis for the examination of the committee. Cases involving losses, nugatory expenditure and financial irregularities come in for severe criticism by the committee. The committee is not concerned with questions of policy. It is concerned only with the execution of the policy laid down by Parliament and its results. The Sila Pass Tunnel. Sila Tunnel is an under construction road tunnel at 3000 meters, which will ensure all weather connectivity between Guwahati in Assam and Tawang in the Indian state of Arunachal Pradesh. అయిపోయిన తర్వాత మళ్ళీ దీనికి వద్దాం. రివర్స్ రివిజన్. Regarding K-shaped recovery, consider the following statements. Okay. A K-shaped recovery occurs when different parts of the population recover from a recession at different places. K-shaped recovery. A K-shaped recovery is when different communities experience different rates of recovery after a recession. The term refers to the shape this type of recovery makes when plotted on a line graph. The portion of the population that recovers quickly is represented by the upper part of the K, while the lower part represents those groups that recover more slowly. अच्छा. Hallmark unique identification. Before implementation of 6-digit hallmark unique identification number, hallmarking of gold jewelry consisted of 4 logos, that is BIS logo, purity of the article, as well as logo of jeweler and assaying and hallmarking center. 6-digit HUID was introduced from July 1st, 2021, and all articles hallmarked post 1st July 2021 have to be hallmarked with HUID only. According to the Department of Consumer Affairs website, hallmark consists of three symbols which give information. The first symbol is the BIS logo. The second symbol is the indicates purity and fitness. The third symbol is the HUID. According to the Department of Consumer Affairs website, the hallmark unique identification number is a 6-digit alphanumeric code made up of letters and digits. Every item of jewelry will be issued a HUID number at the moment of hallmarking, and each one will be unique. At the assaying and hallmarking center, the jewelry is hand stamped with the unique number. After introduction of HUID, hallmark consisted of three marks, viz. BIS logo, purity of the article, and 6-digit alphanumeric HUID. Each hallmarked article has unique HUID number which is traceable. AUKUS alliance. Australia, United Kingdom and the United States have finalized the nuclear powered submarine deal known as AUKUS. The agreement, a trilateral security partnership between Australia, the UK and the US, aims to provide nuclear powered submarines to Canberra and aims at countering Chinese aggression in the Indo-Pacific. AUKUS is a new three-way strategic defense alliance between Australia, the UK and the US, initially to build a class nuclear propelled submarine, but also to work together in the Indo-Pacific region, where the rise of China is seen as an increasing threat, and develop wider technologies. It means Australia will end the contract given to France in 2016 to build 12 diesel electric powered submarines to replace its existing Collins submarine fleet. The deal marks the first time the US has shared nuclear propulsion technology with an ally part from the UK. Impact of El Nino. Seabirds and marine animals struggle to survive. Monsoon India is often weaker during El Nino, but this is not always so. Severe drought and associated food insecurity, flooding, rains and temperature rises due to El Nino. The term El Nino refers to the extensive ocean atmosphere climate interaction associated with cyclical increases in sea surface temperatures throughout the central and eastern equatorial Pacific. It increases the surface temperature of the sea and affects the movements of monsoon winds in the Indian Ocean and causes a drought-like situation in the Indian subcontinent. MARPOL Convention, the International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution from Ships. MARPOL is the main international convention covering prevention of pollution of the marine environment by ships from operational or accidental causes. The MARPOL Convention was adopted on 2nd November 1973 at IMO. The Protocol of 1978 was adopted in response to a state of tankers accidents in 1976 to 1977. As the 1973 MARPOL Convention that had not yet entered into force, the 1978 MARPOL Protocol absorbed the parent convention. Kamakya Temple. The Kamakya Temple is one of the oldest of 51 Shakti Pitas in India. It is believed that the temple is where parts of Devi Sati's corpse fell while her husband Lord Shiva performed Tandav. It is the center of Kulachara Tantra Marga, also known as the Shakta Tantrika tradition. During the Ambubachi Mela, many Tantrikas make a pilgrimage to this place. The Kamakya temple is one of the most revered and also one of the oldest of the 51 Shakti Pitas in India. The temple, an important pilgrimage site, is one of the most visited attractions in the state of Assam. The Kamakya temple or Kamakya Mandir is located in the Nilchal hills in the capital city of Guwahati, Assam. Kamakya temple comes under Kamrup district. The temple is dedicated to Kamakya Devi or Ma Kamakya, the goddesses of desire. It is believed that the temple is where parts of Devi Sati's corpse fell while her husband Lord Shiva performed Tandav. as per religious beliefs, has her genitals and womb fell where the present day temple is located. According to the legends, the location of fallen genitalia and the womb was not known till Kamadev, the god of love, went in search of it for his penance. After finding the parts, Kamadev was rid of his curse given by Brahma. Thus, the place came to be known as Kamakhya. The annual festival Ambubachi Mela celebrates the ministration of the goddesses. The 3-day Mela is when the temple is closed off as a period of rest for the rest for the goddess. This is also when several pilgrims, yoginis and yogis gather here and make the place come alive with music and celebration. On the 4th day, the temple reopens for worship. National Quantum Mission. The Union Cabinet approved the National Quantum Mission with a total outlay of 6,3.65 crore for the period 2023 to 2024 to 2030 to 2031 to scale up research and development and create an innovative ecosystem in quantum technology in the country. The program was approved after a delay of 2 years. The government first announced it in the 2020 budget with a commitment of 8,000 crore rupees. Then the program will be implemented by the Department of Science and Technology in partnership with others. With this, India will join a league of 6 nations that have been developing R&D capabilities in quantum computing: the USA, China, Finland, Austria, France and Canada. Quantum computers use quantum bits or qubits and are faster than regular and supercomputers, which use conventional bits. The new mission targets developing intermediate scale quantum computers with 50 to 1000 physical qubits in 8 years across various platforms like superconducting and photonic technology. For instance, according to reports, Google's quantum processor Sycamore in 2019 completed a task in 200 seconds that Google claimed in a Nature paper that would take a state-of-the-art supercomputer 10,000 years to finish. In quantum computing, the basic unit of information is called a qubit. In classical computing, the smallest and more basic unit of information that can be processed and stored called a bit. PM Swanidhi scheme. The PM Street Vendors Atmanirbhar Nidhi. PM Swanidhi was launched by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs on June 1, 2020 for providing affordable working capital loan to street vendors to resume their livelihood that have been adversely affected due to COVID-19 lockdown. Small Industries Development of Bank of India is the technical partner for implementation of this scheme. Small Industries Development Bank of India. The duration of the scheme initially was until March 2022. It has been extended till December 2024 with focus on enhanced collateral-free affordable loan corpus, increased adoption of digital transactions, and holistic social and economic development of the street vendors and their families. The scheme is implemented by Small Industries Development Bank of India, SIDBI. The Lokpal and Lokayukta. The Lokpal for central, Lokayukta for states. The Lokpal and Lokayukta Act 2013 mandated for the establishment of Lokpal at the union level and Lokayukta at the state level. The institution of Lokpal is a statutory body without any constitutional backing. The Lokpal is the first institution of its kind in independent India, established under the Lokpal and Lokayukta Act 2013 to inquire and investigate allegations of corruption against public functionaries who fall within the scope of and ambit of the above act. The Lokpal has jurisdiction to inquire into allegations of corruption against anyone who is or has been Prime Minister or a Minister in the Union Government or a Member of Parliament, as well as officials of the Union Government under groups A, B, C and D. Also covered are chairpersons, members, officers and directors of any board, corporation, society, trust or autonomous body either established by an act of Parliament or wholly, partially funded by the Union or state government. Ninth schedule. The Supreme Court has laid that laws placed in the 9th schedule are open to judicial scrutiny and that such laws does not enjoy blanket protection. 9th schedule. Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel has written a letter to Prime Minister Narendra Modi urging him to include the state's amended provisions to provide 76% reservation for SC, ST, OBC and RWS in the 9th schedule of the constitution for based on the population of the state. The reservation amendment bill passed by the Chhattisgarh Legislative Assembly in December 2022 provides for 13% reservation for scheduled castes, 32% for scheduled tribes, 27% for other backward classes and 4% for economically weaker sections in the society. The 9th schedule includes a list of central and state laws which cannot be challenged in courts. Inclusion in the 9th schedule gives protection to state and central laws from judicial review. While the 9th schedule provides the law with a safe harbor from judicial review, the protection is not blanket. The schedule became a part of the constitution in 1951 when the document was amended for the first time. It was created by the new article 31B, which along with 31A, which brought the government laws relating to agrarian reform and for abolishing the Jamindari system. While article 31A extends protection to classes of laws of 31A shields specific laws or enactments. Wildlife Protection Act 1972. The umbrella legislation that protects wildlife is the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. It has 6 schedules that enlist the animals and plants that require human interventions. Schedule 1 and 2 list the species that require absolute protection. All the big cat species are listed in Schedule 1, ensuring that the maximum protection indicating that their habitats are in danger. India is the only country in the world to have 5 big cats in wild except pumas and jaguar. Interesting. ఇవి రెండు మళ్ళీ కంటిన్యూ చేయాలి, ఏం పర్వాలేదు చదివితే.